everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sydney and today I'm going to be doing an Antarctica Q&A. So if you didn't know, I went on the Adventures by Disney Antarctica expedition cruise on board a ship called Ponant Le Boreal, and it was the most amazing experience of my life. I have so many other videos from that time. It's all in an album on YouTube that you can go look on my channel. It's called Antarctica, and I vlogged every single day on board the ship, and it was amazing, so make sure to go check out those videos. But today I'm going to be answering your guys' questions. So I'm going to be answering questions that have to do with things such as seasickness, what's something that I wish I brought but didn't, something that I did bring that I'd recommend to everyone, the age I would recommend for people to go on the cruise, and some stuff related to the Adventures by Disney part, the most amazing thing I saw, how the excursions on the ship worked, and more. So make sure to stay tuned. So the first question that we are going to start off with is about seasickness. So personally, I do not get seasick. I've never gone seasick before, but on this cruise, I felt a little bit weird related to sickness, like kind of a little like, oh, you know what I mean? But other than that, like I didn't get seasickness on the ship at all. Like I just felt a little bit off, but I wouldn't really consider it seasickness, honestly, because it hardly lasted for long. And it's never been an issue for me. So we go through the Drake Passage on the way to Antarctica, and that's like some of the roughest seas out there. And I wore seasickness bands the first 2 days that we went through the Drake Passage. But when on the way back, I did not wear any, and I felt completely fine. However, almost everyone on the ship did wear seasickness patches or wristbands or had Dramamine. And I think most people needed it because they still said that they felt a little bit seasick at times. So definitely expect to get seasick even if you haven't ever gone seasick before. So just be prepared with things like Dramamine, the patches. You can get them on the ship too, but they do charge money for it. So if you can just get them before getting on the ship, that would probably be your best solution. My number one recommendation is to never be in like a super enclosed space without a window if you get seasick, especially on the ship. Because that was the only place where I ever felt like, ugh. And it was also the place where 6 people threw up on the first night. So we were in the theater on Ponant, and my mom and I sat closer to the front, and seeing more people more in the front had the issues. So my number one piece of advice, especially if you're going on Ponant in the theater, sit more towards the back, and like if you need to, close your eyes, like do what you gotta do. You expect to get seasick, but as long as you take the proper medication or precautions before you set sail, you're most likely gonna be fine. So the next question I have is, what is something that you wish you brought but you didn't? So I brought everything that I technically needed, but the one thing I do wish I brought, because a few other people did bring it, would be something like a small like stuffed animal or something that you like to take pictures of everywhere you travel to. That was something I kind of thought of after going there, because on the ship there were a bunch of people actually who brought a stuffed animal, a book, like something that they'd travel around with them and they would take a picture everywhere it went. And I thought that was a cool idea, and I wish I'd done that. It's not the end of the world that I didn't, obviously, but that was just something that I thought was like a pretty cool idea. The next question I have is, what was one thing that you brought that made your experience better and that you would recommend for other people to bring? Hiking poles. Hiking poles all the way. I needed them basically. Like if you're physically fit, like you should have no problem with it or anything. But the reason I recommend it is because on our last day in Antarctica, we hiked this really steep mountain basically that had so many loose rocks, and the hiking poles came in handy for this because I could kind of tell if the rocks were loose. I could also use them to like, I guess, like hoist myself, help with walking, and they just came in handy a lot. Like a lot of people would like walk downhill too, like on just snow, and they just like kind of fall forward because it was super steep. But having the hiking poles allows you to keep your balance. And I liked having two. A lot of people did have just one, but I would recommend having two per person. It's not something you necessarily need, but I think it made the experience so much better. So if you can fit them, I would 100% recommend bringing hiking poles. And you can also get them on like Amazon that collapse. So it doesn't necessarily have to take up a lot of space. So definitely consider bringing hiking poles if you're going to go to Antarctica. So the next question I have is, what age range would you recommend kids going on? So on our cruise, the youngest kid was 10 years old, and this kid had actually been to every single continent at this point after reaching Antarctica, which very impressive. Shout out to you. So that was the youngest age that I believe they allowed kids to be on our ship. I think the recommended age on the website was 12, but I personally think that 15 is a good age, 15 or older. I guess it really just depends on the maturity of the kid too. Like, if you can bring the kid on the cruise, like, and you want to, why not? But at the same time, I feel like Antarctica can be a lot more appreciated when you're a little bit older, so I would recommend at least 15. I feel like if I had gone on it when I was 15, I don't think I would have even appreciated it as much. It really just depends on your maturity, but I mean, I think that anyone 15 or older, for the most part, would be able to actually like appreciate the beauty of it and stuff. The next question is, what was special about going to Antarctica with Adventures by Disney? So Adventures by Disney did have some extra activities that probably weren't always provided on just regular Ponant cruises. Some of the extra things that was provided by Adventures by Disney were things such as activities, which we had karaoke night some of the nights, which was so much fun and I loved it. I think I sang A Friend Like Me from Aladdin, and then like at the end we all were singing and dancing on the stage. It was so much fun. And then also the adventure guides, if you've ever done Adventures by Disney, you know that they take photos throughout it and they create a video at the end. I think our video in the end was like 30 minutes. I have it somewhere on my phone. Thankfully, I have a ton of storage, so I got room for it. It's probably buried in my photos because I have like way too many photos on my phone, but I need to find it at some point. So that was something really special, and also having photos, because at the end, like less than a month, they sent out this huge photo link, and there were so many photos of just like some that you didn't even know were being taken of you. It was amazing. So the photos were like professional on cameras, and that was really worth it because there were some photos that I just loved of me and just some of like the views and the ship. It was just, I loved having that included. Also, Adventures by Disney also hosted some crafting events. So we created things such as stickers for our water bottles, because Ponant provides water bottles for everyone, which is super sweet. So we did that. We also created like penguins out of yarn. And we also created ornaments, and there were just some fun activities that went on that were additionally added because of Adventures by Disney. Also, they have before and after gifts with Adventures by Disney. They'll give you gifts like for us, because COVID's going on and stuff. We got like masks, hand sanitizer, wet wipes, stuff like that. I think I made a video of everything actually, so go watch that if you have not already. I think they gave us like a hat, maybe gloves, like, you know, stuff that would be useful for Antarctica. And there's also after gifts. We got this pin set. I don't think I vlogged it. Maybe I will at some point. It's super cute though, and it's specially made for the Antarctica Adventures by Disney cruise. So it's amazing. Some additional things that Adventures by Disney has is the Argentina escape, which was something that happened before the actual cruise. I did not do it, but everyone who did said that it was amazing and they loved it. If you want to, that's something you can add on to it if you're doing it with Adventures by Disney. And then also Disney did provide one night at the Sofitel in Argentina. It was a very nice place in Argentina. And they also had meals for that included. So that was a pretty nice bonus. So the next question I'm going to answer is, what was the most amazing thing that you saw? I kind of made a little list because there were many things, but my top 3 things was just the scenery as a whole. We also did whale chasing. We were chasing a whale for like forever, obviously from a distance because you have to like stay away from them, but we were just kind of following along with it. We got to see it spout a few times and it was amazing. Also, there was this one super cute seal that when we were on a Zodiac boat, it was like, I don't know, like moving around, and it was so cute. So seeing the seal was pretty amazing. The next question is, what is the most disturbing thing that you saw? And this kind of also goes with the age thing and maturity. Like, don't bring like a super young kid to Antarctica because they're gonna see things that it's natural in the wild, and they might not want to see that. But some of the things that we did see were like dead penguins and dead seals like decomposing, and some people actually saw a seal eating a penguin. So if you don't want to see that, then maybe this trip isn't for you, but if you don't mind, and I mean, I'm not the kind of person who wants to see that, but I mean, it was fine in the end. Very interesting. And the next question is, how many excursions did you go on? So there were 2 excursions every single day, and there was an additional one you could add on, which was kayaking. And someone also asked if the kayaking is worth it. Kayaking cost an additional $500 for I think 1.5 hours of kayaking. We did not do kayaking. And personally, if I were to go back for a second time, I think I would do it just because I didn't do it the first time. But I don't know, it's just kind of a lot of money for how short it is. I mean, it's obviously also a once in a lifetime experience. So if it's something you want to do, go for it. Wasn't something I really cared about too much, especially in the moment, because keep in mind, there's 2 excursions per day, and they're pretty close in time to each other. You need the time to warm your body. It's so cold out there. Like, I was always so cold when I'd get back in, and I'd be like just ready to go for the next one when the time arrived. I do not regret not going kayaking, is also what I'm saying. But if it's something you really want to do, go for it. But if you're debating on it and you're not so sure, maybe consider otherwise. It's really up to you. Next question is, would you ever go to Antarctica again? The answer is yes. I loved it so much. I really want to go back again, actually. Will I go back? I don't know. But I really do want to go to the Falkland Islands in Chile, so maybe I'll go on like a cruise around there. I do want to go to South Georgia at some point too, but I haven't really found a cruise that goes there without going to Antarctica. So it really just depends. I mean, I can totally see myself going back there. But I definitely want to go to Falkland Islands. Like, that is like at the top of my list right now. I want to go there so badly. I don't know what it is. It's just like it's close to Antarctica. It seems cool, so I want to go. To kind of go along with that question is, what age would you want to be to go to Antarctica again? I mean, if the opportunity presented itself, whenever. But I would want to save up the money to do it, and I probably wouldn't want to do it again until maybe between the ages of 25 and like 33, something like that. Maybe sooner, maybe later, I don't know. But I feel like that would just be ideal because that would be in like a few years from now and stuff. I would go back anytime if I could. But I guess we'll see. Anyways, you guys, this video has gotten very long, so I think I'm going to end it out here. I still have a few more questions, though, that I do want to answer, so make sure to stay tuned for part 2 to hear the rest of those. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!